get that not so fresh feeling down there?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, bro. I get those not so fresh feelings on the daily, Robbie. Welcome back to Chill Filter, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to, but you probably should, and you probably are, and that's why we like you. This week, we're going to be drinking a classic with a twist. That's Blanton's Gold Edition. But before we get to any of the whiskey, before we get to life and all that good stuff, hey, a repeat of last week's business. Hey, like us and subscribe to us on YouTube. YouTube has recently allowed monetization on less than 1,000 subscribers. We're not even close because we were really late to the YouTube game. But we would love your subscription and maybe even a like on a video. So if you can, do us a big favor, do that. And that's the business for the week. Yeah, Robbie, you're on summer break. You got a crazy Bo in the background. How's things going?
That's not Bo. That's Willie boy. Willie.
Oh, that's the new dog. Nice.
Yeah, the new boy. No, it's hectic. It's kind of like hurry up and wait because we leave for Mexico on Monday.
Nice.
And so it's like I got a lot of stuff done and cleaned up, and I'm like, oh, okay, we'll be better to get ready to go. Yeah. And then life happens and everything gets messed up again. So I got re-clean, get everything ready. And then we've had a lot of doctor's appointments and stuff like that and dentist appointments.
Oh.
So I just feeling like I need Monday to get here where I'm like check out for a week. I'm feeling that.
Totally.
The other thing is like
not Virginia.
Not Virginia. The other thing is like trying to get things figured out for recording with guests next month.
Yeah.
Like planning is not my forte. Like that's not me. But got some stuff going on. It's crazy so we're gone next week to Mexico. And then I come back for a week and then it's July, right?
Yeah, ish.
So is this going to be the last time we record together? This is the last time we record together for no.
Well,
tomorrow we record.
Too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is the last.
That's crazy. Wait.
Yeah, today's the 15th.
Oh, wow.
This episode comes out on the 19th. The episode we record tomorrow comes out on the 26th, and then it's July.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be able to record one more after tomorrow, but we'll figure it out.
Not too big a deal because I got people who are like, hey, I would like to record with you, and so like
you got a lot of people.
I feel at this point I have more people to record, which is great.
Then probably the weeks that I'll be out.
Yeah, but I got something up my sleeve. I got some things planned out. Again, planning's not my forte, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, it's gonna be a crazy week. So like today we're recording, and then tomorrow we're gonna record.
Wow! And guess what? Next episode, the episode 260, theoretically represents 5 years.
Oh boy!
Because so we're 52 weeks in a year, so we might as well do something fun. I don't know what we can drink, but
we don't usually
maybe
have
we'll
fun,
do
Cole.
Frontera.
I'm down.
Okay, let's plan on that. That'd be fun.
Yeah. So anyway, and then I'm recording Sunday for the first episode in July, just to make sure I got it. I'm recording with the Bourbon Band, who met on Mad Madness. I'm excited to hang out with that couple.
Northwest.
They are. I think they're Bend, so I'm excited. It'll be kind of fun to pick their Northwest brains. So I'm excited, man. It's busy, but it's like one of those.
Or no, you're not on the same time zone. I forgot you're on Mountain Time. They're not.
No. Yeah, but I'm excited because I feel like if I can kind of like, my goal is like that first week of July to kind of get things in place and then hopefully chill. So
filtered.
That's the name of the podcast. But yeah, it's been So here's the thing. Today we had to. So I always try to get the girl in summer. It's like we'll chill for the morning a little bit, get in about an hour. They can be on a screen, and then I try to get them out to like a park and go play, and then like run an errand. And it just so happened Junie had a doctor's appointment today as well and stuff like that. So it's been a busy day, but man, I love getting to the parks in the mornings and like it's nice and cool still. Get the kids to play. It's been fun. I love summer.
So not to interrupt too much, but that reminds me that I was planning. So Wednesday, this Wednesday after this comes out, is my daughter's 2nd birthday. And so I was hoping, I actually called off from work on Wednesday to just spend the day with her. Heather wasn't able to because she has to kind of conserve. But I was like, no, we're going to treat this baby with a lot of love on her birthday. And then what
Especially
happened was we found out
last
exactly
without a sibling. Yeah.
And but the hard thing was that we found, not the hard thing, it's a great thing. Juneteenth is on Monday, and Juneteenth her daycare took off, so I switched her birthday to Monday. So we're gonna spend all day to get together on Monday, and we're gonna go to funny story actually, not too funny, but funny enough, is that we went to the library with Beck for the first time ever, and she loved it. Like, she was like, just go back for a book, replace her book, and go back for another, and just kept doing it.
There's
we went
so
to one
many
of those,
books.
Yeah, she adores books. She will read books all day if she could. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna hike in the woods, which she loves.
Nice.
We got a trail, like I mentioned before, near our
She's
house.
not your child. You don't like to hike.
I know, right?
But with your daughter.
But with her, I like it. Yeah, because I can like point out things, and like we can like look for things together. It's amazing. I love hiking with Beck. I don't love hiking on my own.
It's probably a slower pace as well, which is nice.
Yeah, and like it's not like hard for me to hike. I just think it's boring. But with her, it's like not boring at all, because like she's taking it in as much as I am. Yeah, exactly. And then we'll probably visit mommy at work and get lunch with her.
Nice.
And then I might even figure something else out. Maybe we can get some like ice cream or something at one point. But I'm really looking forward to it. So we're recording today on Thursday, and Monday I'm off. So the Monday that this comes out. So I will be enjoying my day with my daughter the day that this podcast episode
I hope I'm enjoying my Monday with my daughters as much as you are with yours, because we'll be traveling.
And I hope that our love of spirits lifted your whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not looking forward to traveling. Although, like, this year the twins have gotten like, so Chelsea generally sits with Juniper, I sit with Finley.
Okay.
And Finley's good with the screen for about 30 minutes, and then she's like,
"Oh, rough.
That's let's a longer do flight something." 30
minutes.
Yeah. But she is a good movie watcher, so what I think I'll do put a bunch of, like, we were watching The Princess Bride for Chelsea's birthday yesterday, and she's like all into it, like, wait,
oh, that's great.
That guy looks like the bad guy, but he's the good guy. Like,
that's great.
And, so it was fun. Like, so I think I'll try to just watch. I'll be watching a lot of Disney movies, which I'm okay with. That's fine.
What's the Disney movie that comes to your mind when you're gonna watch on the plane?
Lately so like that Red Panda. She likes Red Panda a lot.
Oh, cool.
And then she likes
Did you watch that? Is it good?
It is. It definitely deals with feminine issues, because it's about a girl going through puberty. And like one time I had a kid in my class go, "Let's watch Red Panda," and like the one girl I had in my class like looked at me mortified. I'm like, "We're not gonna watch Red Panda at school."
You're like, no.
The room full of boys will skip that one. I think a lot of stuff like probably would go over their heads, but so Red Panda, and then Inside Out. She's been liking Inside Out lately.
Nice.
So, yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. Have you watched that Jury Duty show? It's on Prime, about the one guy on the jury who doesn't know he's the only non-actor.
That sounds amazing. I've never heard of it, never heard of anything like that, but I already love it.
Yeah, it came out a little while ago, and like there was a buzz, and then I think
so. There's one guy on it who just thinks it's legit.
He thinks it's legit, and he thinks it's like this. So honestly, when I first heard it, I was like, okay, that sounds good. But then as I watch it, I'm like, this is like the off. So like the people playing characters don't break characters, but they'll do like their side interviews as the characters.
Totally, like a talking head thing.
It's very much like The Office.
Oh, that's great.
It is stay in it and stuff like that. But like James something or other is on there. The one that's on True Love's Enchanted, and so we'll probably like Enchanted too. But no, it's on Prime, so you should check it out. It is pretty good.
So I saw something on Instagram a while back, at least 6 months back, that was like maybe even a year back, but it said, it was like a tweet basically that was like, "Hey, here's a good show idea," and it said, and it reminds me of what you said, where it's basically The Bachelor but all gay dudes. And so they're all like trying to, they're all trying to like, I forget what. No, it's a bunch of gay dudes and one straight guy, and they're all trying to figure out who the straight guy is, and like it's basically a show on that. But the twist is that they're truly all straight guys. Wouldn't that be great? That would be so funny.
Oh, jeez. Oh no, this show's really good too, because like they'll take things where he says, like, suggests something to somebody, like one of the first episodes, he's like, "How do you get out of jury duty?" He's like, "Oh, I saw this Family Guy episode where like Peter's just like, I'm racist," and so they're interviewing the guy he's talking to, like, "Why can't you be part of this?" And he goes, and he looks at the guy, and you see that, I go, I love
Wait, so does the one guy, does he get talking head moments too?
Yeah, because he thinks it's a documentary.
Okay, so it's kind of a reality show that he thinks everyone's the same on, but he's the only one who's not acting.
He's not in on it. Yeah, no.
That's great.
You gotta check it out. I like it so far. It's been
how many seasons? Just one?
I think it's just one. Yeah, I think it just came out.
That's cool.
In the spring. So
I think I told you fun. I started watching I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson. Yes. And I love it. I watched the whole series. Yeah, it's definitely, like, I think I mentioned, it was almost like a lot of sketches from SNL that just wouldn't make SNL. Like they're just too weird or too off brand or anything like that. And they are just like, I joke with my coworkers about it all the time. Like there's just so many lines in that show, which I dig. So
no, I just figured out HBO Max, which is now Max, has the Learning Channel on it. Oh, and cool. I'm a sucker for reality TV. Like I know. I'm sorry.
He knows, listeners.
It's my guilty pleasure, but like I have always loved watching Little People Big World. So now I'm also getting caught up in my roll-off family. Yeah,
nice. I'm not big reality TV. I actually like. There's probably something reality that I can appreciate, but I feel like reality TV these days is an opportunity for someone to be like, hey, let me get famous, as opposed to...
That's like us on this podcast. That's all we want.
Yeah, that's all we want. It's just, why do we put in so little effort and yet we aren't famous yet? No, we're famous. We're famous among a few. We're definitely not the podcast. But we're, you know what? I'm happy with where we're at, and I'm happy with where we're going. Like the funny thing is, and I don't love to talk numbers, but we are growing, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate those who are listening who are new, because after 5 years here, we're not putting in the social media effort that you might want to see from a 5-year podcast, but we got a following that I really love, and like good people too. So I'm in, sold. Yeah.
You betrayed me, you backstabbing hoe.
Who's that, me?
That's right. The director just told me to tell you that for our Get Famous.
Oh, yeah. Show. Sorry, director. We've been faking it this whole time. We've been faking the funk this whole time. We have faked the funk. I just realized that. Yeah, you have.
I faked the funk on a rating, but we also faked the funk on advertisements.
Oh, I love faking the funk on an advertisement, though. Like, there is so much joy to doing a live read and just laughing and trying not to laugh the whole time. Like, remember when we did
MeUndies?
Like, what's that? We did MeUndies?
Yeah, we did a MeUndies one.
Oh, dude, it's just so fun to just make it up as you go and try not to laugh. Like, we would do like 5 takes usually for one live read and just have a blast doing it.
Fake one, because Adam was like, you guys got to start.
Yeah. And we're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we did that. No.
We never got the affiliate links, but we would fake. Yeah, I'm just going to say that out loud right now. So for those who listen to those episodes where we did affiliate link ones, we never actually signed up for them. We just told Adam we would. And then basically faked them until Adam was happy. And we're like, all right, we're done with these. Yeah. But we still had a blast doing it. So we should do affiliate links and hopefully make some money. But like, we should do that just because we have a blast doing them.
You know what we should do?
Well,
here's the problem.
Does it involve Bush's Baked Beans?
Well, I mean, obviously we should do an advertisement.
So for them. I actually have moved forward in my mind to what I'm going to do to reach out to Bush's Baked Beans soon.
Oh, you're going to reach out and touch them?
Yeah, I'm going to reach out and touch those beans.
Coddle those beans, swaddle those beans.
Yeah, just love those beans.
No, what we should do is maybe like listeners, if there's like the company you want us to do a live read for an advertisement, let us know.
Yeah,
we're there.
We'll do. I mean,
like read. There's obvious low hanging fruit like Camp Chef, Bush's Baked Beans.
Solo stoves, chirp wheels,
the nose hair plucker.
Yep.
But let us know, because they are kind of fun to joke our way through.
Yeah, even if we have to fake one or two, that's the time we'll fake the funk. Although, we are fans of all those brands. But sometimes you got to fake the funk to sell something.
Cole, you ever get that not so fresh feeling down there?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, bro. I get those not so fresh feelings on the daily, Robbie. See, this is it. We try to just that we can't handle it. It's so funny.
Oh, I thought you were being serious though. That's why I was laughing. I was like, Cole's going to be talking about his
live read right there.
Yeah, no.
Oh, right. I love live reads.
Can I say one more thing before we go to break?
Yeah.
Moose, I love my dog, but guess what he did when we went out to the doctor's office?
Farted on the doctor.
When I was upstairs getting the bath ready for Junie, he pulled down, gosh, it was a dozen cookies off the counter from Crumble. And then he ate a whole bag of beef jerky.
Oh, no.
Guess where Moose is sleeping tonight?
Outside.
In the backyard. Backyard. No, he's not coming in. That dog's going to be loose pooping all night long, man.
Do you know
Loose pooping
the song Kitty by the Presidents of the United States of America?
Yeah.
You know where he's like, at the end, he's like, basically, he uses the F word, but he's like, F you, kitty, you're going to sleep outside. Yeah, exactly. Kitty on the floor and I want to touch it.
Bushy purring, looking so satisfied.
Yeah, it's such a good song. I mean, I love the President. So anyway, this has been a great shooting the breeze. I just wanted to shout out to.
But it's been fun.
No, this is great. I love it. I want to shout out to Ben Klepsig at Mount Tad Marketers.
Always Ben Klepsig.
I am drinking one of his Christmas samples that I'm cool with drinking because I don't feel like it would make a great episode, as it is a barrel pick that is not too special. But I'm drinking his Knob Creek Woodman's pick. Woodman's is a nice grocery store out in the Wisconsin
Ben's
area.
Knob Wood?
Oh, Ben's Knob is pretty good. Nice and nutty, I would say. And I would say there's oak and woodiness to it as well. We love you, Ben. He can take
Ben is the best. Can I say something too? Before one last thing.
Yeah.
We've been a little nostalgic already. And I was just thinking today, I was looking at I got some samples from Bryce this week. I was putting them up on the shelf. My sample shelf is running out of space. But I remember when I started, I started with you, it was like we had to buy every bottle except for the seventh bottle. We'd have a sample from somebody. And now it's we have so many samples.
Well, we won't run out anytime soon.
We're not running. Yeah, we used to be we'd say things like, all right, we got enough samples to get us to 2 more months.
Yeah. And now we have over a year's worth. If we just drank samples, we would have over a year's worth.
Nice. That's awesome.
So yeah, we love you guys. And I'll shout out a little bit before we get into the history. But what do you say we go for a quick walk break? Maybe I'll go to the woods. Maybe you'll go to that little trail near your house. But we'll be right back after this break. And we're back once again with Chill Filtered. Really quick, some notes to get to. Thank you to Bryce Marita, who sent both Robbie and I a sample or two this week, and we're really excited to dig in them, hopefully very soon. So maybe not very soon because I'll be off on paternity leave for a little bit. But a baller salute to this Bryce Marita and nameless friend. I'm just going to say that. Otherwise, great conversations this week, and I appreciate everyone that reached out. And then a big thank you, baller salute to Brian Rapp for providing the sample that we're drinking today of Blanton's Gold.
Yeah.
So getting into the history, this is not our first Blanton's branded bottle. We've drank it on the podcast. It will be our third, actually. Episode 49, we skipped right ahead to the Blanton Straight from the Barrel that we got from Caleb Olson. And that was phenomenal. That was one of the top 10 bourbons I've ever had, to be honest. That was like butterscotch. You weren't there, Robbie, but you were there when we had, maybe I doubt I shared it because I probably downed that thing. But you were there on your first episode as a co-host, episode 81. We drank Blanton's single barrel, the standard Blantons. So that was cool. So this is kind of nostalgic.
Did you share did you previously own a bottle of Blanton's Gold?
No, I've never had Blanton's Gold, but Blanton's straight from the barrel. I have a bottle, but I haven't cracked it.
Because you shared a Blanton's with me that one Christmas you guys came.
Was it standard Blanton's? It wasn't.
I don't think it was.
Oh, maybe I did share a little bit of that Blanton straight from the barrel.
I think you did. I think it was just a little bit.
I wouldn't be surprised. It was so good.
And I was like, this tastes like butter. I was like, it's got like a buttery mouthfeel. And you're like, ooh, good note, Robbie. I'm encouraging you as much as I can. Drink whiskey with me.
No, it was good. Drink whiskey with me, man. But I've had some Blanton straight from the barrel since, and none have matched that first one that I had with. That was Caleb Olson. So shout out to Caleb Olson. What a baller.
Seriously.
Another. So actually, there's some cool background on this one. I read a really good article that gave me a lot of cool history that didn't so much overlap with prior episodes. So let's get into that. And yep. So like I said, really cool history today, which is different from the last two Blanton's related episodes we've done. I believe it was the Straight from the Barrel episode where we talked about how Age International, a Japanese company, owns the Blanton's brand. Even though Buffalo Trace makes it in Kentucky, Japanese brand benefits quite a bit from the branding of Blanton's. So much so that Blanton's gold, green label and Straight from the Barrel weren't even sold in the U.S. until a few years ago, when Age International decided to expand it from the generally just international, excluding the U.S. So before, like a few years ago, you had to buy Straight from the Barrel outside of the U.S., but recently they've started to make it a U.S. thing as well. But I found a cool article, which with sources of the article like Fred Minnick or Chuck Cowdery, both fantastic bourbon historians. The article is called Blanton's Single Barrel Bourbon Was Born in Japan. And that was on vinepair.com, written by Emily Bell. Very interesting stuff if you want to read it. So we know that Blanton's Single Barrel was one of the first single barrel bourbons that was marketed, at least. Like some people would have single barrels technically because they just poured it out of the barrel, but this was one of the first marketed single barrel bourbons out there. And it was introduced in 1984. And most people think that Elmer T. Lee, the master distiller at the time, was the guy behind it. And he sort of was, but not totally the driving force. In fact, he was probably the minor driving force of what the product became.
Driving force menorah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there were two guys, one guy named Ferdy Falk and one guy named Bob Baranaskas. They had previously worked for Fleischmann's distillery. And Fleischmann's was in the end bought out by another company. And these two guys decided to leave the company and move on to the Schenley company. Do you remember the Schenley distillery we were talking about? And just Schenley like company. Okay, I think it was the Stag Junior episode about 10 episodes ago, 9 or so, that we talked about.
You're asking the wrong
it might
guy
not
to remember something.
No, yeah, it's all good. Schenley. So Schenley is a big deal in the conglomerate world, and it isn't anymore, but it was. And anyways, they basically owned Buffalo Trace's distillery, and it wasn't called that at the time, but before Sazerac did. And where did I leave off? So anyway, Schenley Industries purchased the Albert B. Blanton's distillery. Also, I couldn't figure out when it was called Albert B. Blanton's distillery and when it was called the George C. Stagg distillery. I found more sources that said it hadn't changed names to the Albert B. Blanton's distillery. But either way, that's what one of the articles said. So don't say I'm inaccurate. Just say I don't have all the full sources. And I'm
tell you one thing, you're meandering.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm okay with that. Ferdy and Bob had some foresight and noticed, like we've discussed on prior episodes, that the 1980s were not kind to bourbon in the US. But that doesn't mean the 1980s were kind to bourbon at all, weren't kind to bourbon at all. In fact, Japan was gobbling up bourbon at the time. Like they were taking as much bourbon as they could take at that time. And Ferdy and Bob decided that one of their first orders of business would be to create a bourbon product for the Japanese market. And they did release some in the US as well, but the intention and Japan's desire was that it would be much bigger in Japan. One fun fact, in terms of bourbon exports in general, like bourbon exiting the US, 51% of bourbon at the time was going to Japan, which is crazy. A small country like that, when you think about it, that they were getting more than half of the bourbon exports from the US.
They've got
Chuck Cowdery made a point.
Share.
What's that? Yeah, they have the majority.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
they can make the changes.
Yeah, they can make the votes. So Chuck Cowdery,
and furthermore, I was thinking
great bourbon great bourbon historian, made a point that in the U.S. people were shying away at the time in the 1980s from bourbon because that's what their dad drank, and that was definitely
I'm not like you, man. Okay.
Yeah, I'm my own man, dad, man. And so people were moving a lot more towards vodka, gin, stuff like that. On the other hand, in Japan didn't grow up, or their fathers didn't grow up on bourbon. They grew up on Scotch or Japanese whiskey, which are very similar. And the article did a great job saying of like the culture shift in Japan and the US that led to the Japanese people seeing, bourbon's actually a great alternative to Scotch or Japanese whiskey. And so they were getting more into bourbon. We were getting less into bourbon as a country. And so they were picking up all these things. So Scotch, let me tell you this. So before there was bourbon, there was Scotch. So Scotch is the official gateway whiskey, if you think about it. Scotch leads to Japanese leads to bourbon leads to gin and vodka. It's how it goes. So all this to say, Japan loved their bourbon, and Blanton's was truly made for the Japanese market, which is kind of interesting.
That is.
Especially when you think of what Blanton's is today and how big it is in the U.S. So when Sazerac bought the distillery in 1992 and Age International kept the Blanton's brand, they held on tight to it and did not sell it because they were making good money off of it. And I think that was a good idea business-wise for the Japanese company Age International, especially to this day where Blanton's is such an in-demand product. So let's get into what we're drinking today, Blanton's Gold. First of all, it is a high rye bourbon from Buffalo Trace Mash Bill number 2, which is undisclosed in terms of the ratios, but that's okay. So is everything at Buffalo Trace. But it is known to have more rye, at least, than Buffalo Trace Mash Bill number 1, which is like Eagle Rare and all that in Buffalo Trace. Standard Blanton's is 93 proof. Blanton's Gold is 103 proof.
Oh, boy.
Like all Blanton's products, aged exclusively in Warehouse H, which apparently Elmer T. Lee thought, this is something different. And I believe it's a metal rick house. I might be wrong in saying that, but I believe it's like a metal-based rick house. And some great aging goes on in certain metal-based warehouses. So no age statement, but believed to be about 6 to 8 years old. Thanks again to Brian Rapp. What a baller. And retail is about $120, but it can go hundos higher, if you know what I mean. So let's get into pouring this sample out for the homies. Right. No, for me. So there is a group of people, a subculture, you might say, who think Blanton's is terrible. I think Blanton's is fantastic. I think it's actually a really good bourbon, and it's very agreeable, very fruity. I love it. I just think it's overhyped. That's the reason I might shy away from Blantons in general. It's just overhyped. It's really not worth as much as people were willing to pay for it. I think it's worth 60, 65 that its retail is for the standard.
No, I
but
agree.
like people will very much disagree with me on that one.
I would not go out of my way to find it. I would not go out of my way and pay like secondary price on it.
Yeah, never.
But it's like it is good. I mean, it is good.
I would pay retail any day for Blantons. In fact, I got a few bottles stored up right now.
All right, I get mixed berries with a little bit of like honey, sharp sweetness. Okay. But I also get a little like the rye note I'm getting from it is there's a little rye spice, but it's more like on the side of cinnamon to me.
Okay. I'm getting your mixed berries, but I'm also getting fresh apple. Not too sour, not too green, but like a fresh, like Honeycrisp, or my favorite is a Pink Lady. It is a little more potent than, like, it's truly higher proof in the nose than Blanton's single barrel standard. I can get a little more alcohol vapors, but I love the fresh apple notes. I dig them so much. So Robbie took a few sips. What do you think?
Little underwhelmed. First sip, very thin, very light. Even given the proofage on it, I get really like I get a lot of apple, but it's like, you know, when you bite into an apple and it's kind of grainy and doesn't feel like it's overripe. I get like an overripe apple where it's not super sweet. You're just kind of like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of where I'm at right now. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I am caught off guard by this. This is my first sip ever of Blanton's Gold. And the first thing that came to mind after sipping it was that the finish just dropped off a cliff. And Blanton's standard, in my opinion, at least of the single barrels I've had of Blanton standard, does not do that. Blanton's in general like has a nice, smooth, continuing finish that reminds me of apples and baking apples usually and stuff like that. But this kind of has no finish in the long term, at least. But it has a little bit of apple, but it just died off. I really got to give this a second chance and a second sip because I'm a little, like you said, underwhelmed comparatively, even just to the 93 proof. So yeah, you can go ahead again. But
no, I want to say there's like some sort of floraliness there, but in the sense, like I think this flavor. Oh gosh, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's just maybe a little floral there, but in general, like even on my second and third sip, I'm like, I'm not blown away. That's for sure. I'm very underwhelmed. There's not a lot going on. Like I get a little bit of like medicinal on the finish, heading towards bitterness. Like, would it be cool to have this on my shelf? Absolutely. Look, I got the Blanton's Gold. Hey, there's Blanton's Gold. Like, it's very pretty. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
But I would keep it on the shelf at this point because I don't know if it's worth drinking.
So my second sip was a little bit better.
Yeah.
That general appley-ness that I typically get from mash bill number 2 is there, and it's good. I don't know if it's better than the 93 proof though.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, this is one of those ones that I totally agree with what you said. It's like, this looks really good on a shelf, but might not be the first Blantons I reach for.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to drop some drops. I had 4 sips and kind of came to the conclusion.
Sound like you were going to swear there for a second.
No. Yeah, it did. Even for me, I was like, oh, that did sound like I was going to say that word. But I finally came to the conclusion that it's good. It's not rocking. I think it is good. I'm actually not going to say this is bad.
I would say neat is not bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say it was good. All right, I dropped my water.
I would say it's good, not bad, not great. Personally,
I'm at the not bad stage.
Okay.
Already dropped my water, and I am
too.
getting much more appley. Like it is appley for sure. Not super vibrant, but it is definitely much more.
Oh, the nose is great.
Much more prevalent of a nose than neat was for sure on anything. So
I love this nose.
Yeah, it is much better.
Yeah, I have a feeling this will be the better sip, which will probably bring it closer to Blanton's 93 proof. But
dude, already
better? Nice.
Yeah. Like light years better. Right?
Right off the front. Yep.
It's robust.
I prefer
it's
Blanton's to Blanton's Gold. That's official.
Yeah. Which, I mean, like, okay, so that's good to know, though, because how often are you going to see Blanton's Gold?
Yeah.
Not that often.
Not that. So I've never seen one.
That's one you can just keep on your shelf.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. I forget. I gotta look something up. I have a so right now I'm in the lottery for ABC for 3 bottles. There is Blanton Straight from the Barrel is one of them. So I have a chance at that, and then E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof, and then Weller Single Barrel right now. So yeah. I would love to win one of those Straight from the Barrels, or heck, an E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. My goal is to win 2 E.H. Taylor Barrel Proofs, and then I'm gonna reach out to Brian Rapp, who recently said it was one of his he would spend a lot of money for that one, and he has a bottle of Eagle Rare 17. And then one day I'm going to tell him, hey, I'll give you 2 bottles of E.H. Taylor and potentially I would throw down. I would do 2 bottles of E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof, and then the Van Winkle 12-year that I have for Eagle Rare 17. I would do that. Do that right now. Because I love Eagle Rare 17.
The joy on your face as you said that.
And then I'll reach out to him and he will know exactly what's coming. Although he's apparently off the grid right now. He's in some crazy island in the Pacific. So maybe he'll listen to this week, but maybe he'll listen to it in a few weeks. And at that point, I'll have my E.H. Taylor Barrel Proofs and I'll be like, yo, Brian, let's talk. So anyway, I'm giving away my whole hand right here. So
yeah, where's your poker face, brother?
No, I need that.
Also, so it's like it very much is appley. It's sweet, but I also get like that rye comes out a little bit, and I'm getting like the cinnamon side of a rye, which
nice.
I'm liking it, man. I like this with water. Would I pay for it to put water in it? I don't know if I could do that. Yeah.
Ooh, the finish! I just realized the finish is like kind of green appley and just beautifully rounded apples in a baking kind of way. So much better than the standard neat.
I'm with you on the green because green can have some tartness to it.
Yep.
And it's definitely on that end of the.
I don't know how Buffalo Trace does it, but apples are their speciality.
Oh, man. When I was a kid, I remember we'd always go to Grover's Apple Orchard as a field trip. Grover's had it on apples. They would have like the cider pressing machine, and you would just like put your come on, kids, line up. Put your cup under the cider machine. You drink the cider.
Oh, that's cool.
From the apple. Oh gosh, I loved it. I got different ice today.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's from a bag.
Is it like from? Do you know you can get nugget ice from Sonic?
Yeah. I don't care for it.
No, I know you know. Now our listeners know.
Yeah.
They'll just give you a whole bag of it.
You pay for it.
Yeah. You pay like $3.
But you just go, I know the nugget ice hack.
Yeah.
You're
like, gimme. Now gimme.
So the funny thing about Junie is she loves watching like craft hacking video type things. And she'll be like someone like she'll see something, she's like, I know a hack for this. Like
that's great.
Or be like, hey, time to put the iPad down, we gotta go play. And she'll be like, I gotta finish the hack. Like,
oh, it's funny.
Yeah. Ooh, I kind of like the nose with ice.
Yeah, it's subtle.
It's kind of like
vanilla-y for me.
Like a sparkling cider lost its carbonation almost.
Yeah.
I like it. Almost, but there's also like slight, there's a slight medicinal bitterness kind of a thing going on where I get a little bit of like an apple cider vinegar, but like not a strong, like nothing strong at all. Like there's a little bit of something there too. This nose, cool. It's interesting. I like this. This is my favorite nose so far for sure. It's a little different.
Definitely
it's a little
different.
Yeah. I'm impressed. I'm surprised by it.
So I think it's a little too thin with ice. Yeah, there's something that just doesn't hit the same way that the water pour does. It thins out too much, gets a little too florally to me. Little too spread out. I don't love it as much, but it's good. I actually might
prefer this over
the neat pour.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm with you. Maybe, it does like I think like if you gave this iced to someone who's just getting into whiskey, good to go. It's just but with water, it kind of hit that robust point where it's like, here we go. That's where you want to be. That's the sweet spot.
Yeah.
It's thin for sure. A little bit of appley, still kind of sweet, but it's just again falls flat. It's flat.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I think it does. So we always rate based on the best pour, or that's what we should do. So I have a rating.
Let me look back on our previous ratings of just Blanton straight from the barrel or standards Blantons.
Do you have the spreadsheet?
No, I don't. But I'm saying like that's what the water pour should be pretty close to.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, what do you got, Cole?
I'm gonna say 9.05. I do believe this breaks 9, especially for the neat pour. I mean the water pour. I love apples in my bourbon. I love the smell. I love the taste. I love how it works. And I think the neat pour really brought that out. It's a little disappointing. I would have gone higher, I think, if the neat pour were like that. But the best pour, like we mentioned, is the water pour, which really brings it down to the 93 at least proof, where Blanton's standard is. So I don't think that's saying much about Blanton's gold, but I think that's saying a lot about Blanton's. So either way, 9.05.
No, I'm surprised you went that high. I am at 8.4. For shelf wise, 9.5. But in my mouth wise, 8.4. Excuse me. I had to get that 8.4 out of my mouth. Nice. Yeah, no, it's good. It's like hovers between. It's not bad and good. It's good, and there's some little things there that kind of surprise me on the ice pour. But overall, underwhelmed. That being said, I am still glad I got a drink of it. Now I know.
Yeah, now you know.
Happy. I'm still a happy man.
He's a happy man, everyone.
Yeah. All right.
I love that. So why don't we move on to our next segment of the show? A segment that we truly like to call Whiskey World News.
Yeah, we're back. Part of the show we like to call Whiskey World News. Read an article, didn't write it, going to read it. Here it goes. This one comes from the Whiskey Wash, written by Gary Carter, titled One of the World's Rarest Japanese Whiskey to be opened in Portland this summer. A 2-day event in July 21st through 22nd will see one of the world's rarest Japanese whiskeys, a Yamazaki 55-year-old in Portland.
Nice.
At the Multnomah Whiskey Library.
I've been there. Oh, wait, no, I haven't.
We were going to go there, then COVID hit.
Yeah, I remember that. It was like literally the month before COVID.
Yeah.
February of
Jerome was going to take us out there.
Yeah.
In June of 2020, Yamazaki released 100 bottles of their 55-year-old single malt distilled in 1960. Or of those 100 bottles, 20 made it to the United States, and a few made it to the West Coast, and one of those to the Multnomah Whiskey Library.
I believe.
Interestingly, a portrait of Suntory founder Shinjiro Tori. That was not probably. I should have done an accent. Shinny.
You just got to make it Americanized. Shinjiro.
I feel like that's almost, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
For the
probably
walls of Multnomah Whiskey Library, part of the fabric of the place. The library's operators knew that they acquired the rare bottle. They had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to share it with the world in a unique way. There were openings in LA, New York for Yamazaki 55, and it was decided that Portland would get to taste the spirit. The organizer of the 2-day event said this in their possible thanks to a year-long friendship between the library and the world-renowned Portland Japanese Garden. The relationship fostered cultural exchange between the proponent and of excellent craft, along with passion for art forms that stand the nature of time. The Yamazaki 55 2-day celebration in Portland, slated for July 21st and 22nd, will be for those who love the world of spirits, culture, and art. They will dive deep in the context of Japanese whiskey, surrounded by the art of Japanese gardening, alongside international luminaries like House of Suntory's chief blender Shinji Fukuyo.
Nice.
Don't want to Americanize that one. Earn our explicit rating. David Broom, international whiskey writer. Mary Beth Bullard, chef and culinary diplomat. Jim Meehan, writers, mixologist. Jim Beard Awards winning. At the library's own roster of culinary and beverage talent. Celebration includes a welcome dinner with the guests of honor at the Japanese Garden, vertical tastings of other hard-to-find Yamazaki whiskeys with discussions led by Fukuyo, coursed pairings, dinners, and more. Cole, any thoughts about that? I know it's kind of a basic thing, not
Did
too
it
out
say
there.
the price?
It did not say the price.
That's where they get you. Figure it out.
I assume it's got to be super expensive.
Yeah, at least $1,000 a bottle.
A bottle,
or a pour. So I'm gonna look that up. But in the meantime, I will say this: that I think they're doing the right thing with giving it like just making an event. Here it is. So I'm looking on their website. 1 ounce pour. There's a raffle, so they're gonna do a raffle and information here. $100 for the raffle, and who knows how many raffle tickets there will be. But I actually dig that. They'll have other additional prizes if you don't win, but I think that's better than offering it for $1,000 a pour, because only the rich people are going to buy it, and the only rich people are going to experience it. I love the fact that
we like to say, like Aerosmith says, "Eat the rich."
Sweet emotion.
But now they're rich.
Yeah, but
and Janie's got a gun.
Yeah.
Now I'm crying.
What is the song? Dude looks like a lady.
Hey, Cole, I would have told you if you only would have walked this way.
That's pretty good.
You know.
But I think they're doing it right. I think a raffle is a better idea. And like, it sucks if you don't win the raffle, but it would be amazing if you won the raffle. So that's the risk of a raffle. But I appreciate them doing that. I've always wanted to go to the Multnomah Whiskey Library. We got to hit up Jerome and just make it happen one of these days once our kids are a little older.
Episode. Jerome and I.
Yeah, that'd be a killer episode. What if we did it in the library? What? So anyway,
that'd be fun.
That'll happen once my kids are of the age where I can leave them with Heather for a weekend or so. Or, maybe if Robby visited me, we would secretly transport to Portland, Oregon. And, but no.
Here's the thing. You're more financially inclined.
Yes.
At this point,
but I'm not kid inclined.
Exactly. At this point, I'm getting more kid inclined. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure things out.
Yeah, we'll get it going.
Dude.
But what do you think?
I just 2 weeks. You're going to be a 2-kiddo dad.
Dude, we'll be matched. The old parent-kid match.
Yeah, one-on-one.
I can't wait to meet this little girl. So in the ultrasounds, they've been saying that she's got some hair, which I love. I love the fact that she's got some hair. I can't wait to see what color her hair is. What? Yeah, I have pretty thick hair, but Beck was born dark brunette, and now she's super blonde.
Oh my gosh!
So I'm curious if this one will be a brunette, or if she'll be born blonde, or if she'll stay brunette. I have a feeling It could go any direction. So I'm excited. I just can't wait to meet this little girl.
She's gonna come out, crusted clown hair.
Yeah, exactly. Like frizzy and outward fro. Yeah. Or no, I'm thinking of Sideshow Bob. Either way.
Krusty's sidewards.
Yeah, they're both sideward.
Blue.
Yeah. But this baby, or Sideshow Bob, is more of the brown.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so my ideas on the article, I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I think instead of just being like, hey, come to the library, pay for a membership, then you can have access to pay for a shot. Like, that's awesome. Just like, make it especially like being like, hey, like, we've got these Japanese gardens. We honor Japanese culture because there was a large Japanese population in the Northwest in general. Just make it a cultural kind of fun event. Throw a raffle. There you go. I think they're doing it right. Sounds good.
And
good on you.
A portion of the proceeds will be donated to the Portland Japanese Garden, which I dig.
There you go. It's beautiful. Have you ever seen it?
No, I would love to. Portland's got it going on, man. I loved our visits to Portland.
It is. It's been like little tricky lately. Like, you got to be kind of careful where you park your car and kind of do stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But in general, the city is really cool. It's fun.
I love it.
Good
I loved
food.
the Alberta district when I went there, and the Hawthorne district.
We spent a lot. Our friends Abby and Michael lived in the Hawthorne, and it is a cool little area.
That is cool.
You get such good food. It's people. Nice. It's just people are like, hey, here's this thing. I want to make it a little weird and take it another step. And you're like, oh my god, this is freaking awesome. It's
nice,
great food.
That's cool.
You know, one thing I miss about living in Seattle
was
getting good teriyaki for super cheap,
dude.
Like just and pho, great pho, great teriyaki.
There's no good pho in Boise.
I've yet to find a place where I'm like, where it's number one good and number two cheap.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's legit.
All right, Cole. Time for what whiskey would you choose? Moving on.
Yeah, let's go over last week's results.
Last week's results, you would think, since I segued into it, I'd have it ready. Last week, we talked about what is your I am frustrated
timeout whiskey.
Mommy, daddy.
I need some time to myself.
Just, you don't have to be a mommy or daddy. You can just be like, and it's coming from my daddy perspective of like, give me a second. But if your timeout whiskey,
daddy issues.
What's your frustrated timeout whiskey? I went with Early Times Bottle and Bond. Cole went with Stag Junior. Cole won 56 to 44%. So I think people are kind of along the lines. You were more like, if I'm going to sit and take a timeout, I want something nice that I'm going to enjoy and just be into the whiskey. My thought was, I want something that's cheap that's just going to go, okay, let's get back to it. Right? Like, yeah. So that's where I was at. So I think that was a pretty good toss there. Marco Nezzi, what I have on hand, preferably a wild turkey RB. What's wild turkey?
RB? Oh, rare breed.
Yeah. Rare breed. Oh, and rare breed rye.
You know,
it's perfect. I think that's the good bridge between Cole Stag and my
that's good
Early Times. Kill the 518 gin because I'm not going to be able to enjoy a whiskey. Oh, because
when you're like, mad,
I can't enjoy
this.
I'm just gonna throw some gin down my throat. Sean Ciaro, not John, sorry. 1792 foolproof, always adjust my mood in the right direction. That was like the most like mindful answer ever.
Yeah.
Adjust my mood in the right direction.
You need that when you're a detective.
DJ Rockefeller, 1981. Eagle Rare, something good, but not too good.
That's
Brian Rapp, Old Forester Barrel Strength, Bro Tasking. Today is Heaven Hill Bottom Bond. I'm cranky. I think you replied twice too, because I think the first day was another answer.
Both. Yeah.
Whiskey Drinking Panda, Knob Creek 9 single barrel, SIB.
Knob Creek,
SIB, single barrel. Okay.
Yeah, single barrel, SIB.
Paul Clarkson, whatever one that I don't mind taking a swig from the bottle with. That's the truth.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Before, and Brotaskin said yesterday, it was Weller Special Reserve. It's been a hot work. It's been hot and work has been stressful. So there you go. There's some good answers. All right, Cole.
I have something unless you do.
I got something.
Yeah, I want to go this week because mine is related to the you know, what we talked about recently.
Yo, yes, all the things we talked about, but that one specific thing.
So, okay. Was it who said on the results basically drinking from the bottle?
Oh,
was it Paul Clarkson?
I think so.
What was the phrasing he used?
Paul Clarkson, whatever on hand that I don't mind taking a swig from the bottle with.
So, what is your on-hand bottle that you don't mind swigging from the bottle? That's this week's What Whiskey Would You Choose?
So mine's either going to be Wild Turkey 101 or Old Granddad Bottle and Bond.
Okay. I like that.
But I think I'm going to go with this because Wild Turkey is just kind of like a good bros, dudes hanging out thing. And you're like, here, pass the bottle, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you typically you would take a swig from that. So I'm going to say Wild Turkey 101.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to go with Sazerac Baby Saz 6 year.
That's perfect. Yep.
I think it's a great bottle to swig because it's got that really long neck. But also I think it's just it's not too expensive. Yeah. It's not too expensive. And
that was some good sound language. Oh, he just drank some Saz 8 Baby Saz.
Yeah, it's the international sound of drinking Saz.
Sound language.
Yeah. And I just think Sazerac 6 would be perfect. I think that's the ultimate swig bottle. So, yeah.
I gotcha.
So, next
I
week,
think the ultimate is Carlos Rossi Cannonball.
Oh yeah,
that's a college thing.
The jug with the handle with the yeah,
and you put it. You put the handle on your pinky and your ring finger, and the bottle and the crook.
I can tell this is from experience, 100%. So yeah, next week we're gonna be drinking a Delbach Frontera. Are we gonna pull in a Delbach celebrity? Maybe. I doubt it. But for those who are interested, maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll pull in.
Tune in next week.
Yeah, just tune in next week. What the heck, you know? Maybe we will pull in Mark or Steven or Amanda or something like that, and it'll be a killer time. So we had such a good time with Mark, but I know that Normandy's coming out soon, so maybe we'll pull that for Mark again.
Oh,
but I hear good things about the Frontera, so we'll be drinking that next week. No vote
to celebrate
this week.
Our official
5-year anniversary.
Yeah, perfect. So, I love it, man.
Well, I love our listeners, and I hope they know how much we appreciate them.
And Cole, I hope I know how much you hope that they know we appreciate them.
I know that you hope that we have a good time and that my baby turns out great, but I hope also that my baby is healthy, happy, beautiful, and all that.
And Cole, I hope you know what, no matter what happens, that baby's going to be amazing.
I know, right? But most of all, listeners, I hope that our love of whiskey lifted your spirits.
Don't be making sounds while I'm talking to my wife like you do when I do this.
Happy birthday, Chelsea. Not.